Hello, my name is Chris Campbell and we welcome you to another episode of One-on-One. And on this installment, we have in studio Southfield Superintendent Dr. Jennifer Martin Green. Welcome to the show, Dr. Green.
Thank you, Mr. Campbell. It's a pleasure to be here.
Well, let's get right into it. The global pandemic has definitely made numerous institutions rethink remote and virtual learning in relation to physical learning. Southfield Public Schools, we've heard, are going to start off the school year with a virtual learning environment. Kind of walk us through just what that will involve.
I'm very glad you asked that question. First, let me say that we had a team of very hardworking individuals look at numerous plans and numerous options for our students as we planned out this school year. We followed the governor's roadmap to education, we followed CDC guidelines, and we worked in tandem with Oakland schools. However, at the end of the day, the team determined that it was not safe for us to bring the children back for face-to-face instruction as of yet. Therefore, we are recommending two options to our families, one being fully virtual, where children will learn remotely throughout the entire school year. The second of which is a remote start, moving to a hybrid platform. And what that entails is every child working in the virtual capacity until the health conditions improve. Once the health conditions improve, they will return back to our buildings for face-to-face instruction, beginning with our early learners and our special populations, and gradually we will increase the number of students back in our buildings to ensure that we can return them all in a safe manner.
Yes. Now, many school districts speak of the challenge, the major challenge there is in the connectivity needs of the students in a virtual learning environment. How have you ensured that Southfield Public School students have the needed technology to help enhance their virtual learning?
We have conducted numerous surveys with our families and placed phone calls and actually reached out to each and every household to ensure that they have connectivity. We've also been very fortunate to partner with some organizations to increase our connectivity in the district. Our bandwidth is such that if a family needs to come into one of our parking lots or we needed to make provisions at one of our facilities, they could do that. We've also expanded the hotspots that were provided to us by United Way. We were very fortunate to receive that donation. We've also been gifted some funds from the Balmer Group, and we're grateful to them. And a number of other partners have really rallied around our children and wrapped their arms around supporting our children and increasing our technology in the district. We do now have enough computers, or Chromebooks rather, for every student to have a Chromebook, their own Chromebook this fall. We are still interested in getting additional Chromebooks in the event that we have one break and or we have an increase in our student population. We are just meeting the minimum number of Chromebooks at this time. We are also interested in purchasing headphones for our students. We recognize that noise canceling headphones help the children to stay focused when they're learning on the computer versus that of in the classroom. And then some other things for our teaching staff. It's very important that we provide them with the necessary tools to instruct in a virtual environment. We are looking to provide them with microphones and with webcams and also headphones as well when they need to create the asynchronous learning opportunities for our students.
Now, talk about parents, and this is a message to parents as well. How can their involvement enhance student learning?
Absolutely. Our parents are our number one partner, and last evening I happened to be on a call with our area council PTA, and I did share with them that we are looking to put together a series of workshops for parents on how to best support their students while they are learning in that virtual environment. We will have some of those workshops on the weekends to accommodate their schedules and in the evenings. Most importantly, we will have all of those videos archived on our district webpage for families to go back and watch. We want to support the family in every way possible to ensure that all of our students are receiving a high quality instruction in this remote environment. We are also working on a series of seminars for the students on how best to learn in a virtual environment. It is a different learning environment for our children. Many of them are technologically savvy. I think it was born to this generation. So they could probably teach us a few things, but we want to ensure that they know how to take their technology skills and apply it to their academic learning.
Now let's talk a little bit about your team and how they've risen to the challenge of these unprecedented times.
Yes, indeed. I must admit I have one of the most amazing teams in education, if not the most amazing team in education. We recently restructured the district by way of creating support teams to provide full wraparound supports to families. So we have a student support network, an intense student support network, and various layers in between. Those individuals have stepped up to volunteer for food distribution, Chromebook distribution, summer learning packets, delivering food to families' homes that are in need, and simply calling and making what we called sunshine calls to ensure that everyone was well during this time in which we were isolated and away from other human contact. So the team is amazing.
Absolutely. Now, you're a seasoned professional educator. Before coming to Southfield, you enjoyed 10 years in leadership at Detroit, Oak Park, Ypsilanti, and various other school districts. Talk about one or two of your most proudest achievements.
Well, being in this global pandemic, I don't feel seasoned at all. I think we all feel novice in this global pandemic. However, I am very fortunate to have had a very successful 25-year career in education. As you stated, I've been in 3 different counties and 5 different school districts. My greatest success has been that of rapid turnaround for the senior high schools. Once students get to high school, it's very hard to change their habits and to close the achievement gaps that have been existing for some time. I was most fortunate to partner with other like-minded individuals and close the achievement gap with Ypsilanti High School as well as Westwood High School, both decreasing their dropout rate and increasing their graduation rate. The Westwood Community School District, we increased the graduation rate by 20% and lessened the dropout rate by 16%. So that was definitely significant. Realizing that you're changing the trajectory not only of that child's life, but that family's life as well.
Now, education has always been a focus of yours. You have an educational pedigree. You have a doctorate degree in educational leadership from Michigan State University, a master's in educational leadership from Wayne State University. Talk about your pedigree, beginning with Cass Tech.
I was going to say I'd be remiss
Yes.
in this interview with you if I did not mention that that love for education started as a student at Cass Technical High School. I was very fortunate to have one of the best English teachers in the state of Michigan, who is now the principal of Cass Technical High School, that of Lisa Phillips, and she served as my mentor and role model, which really piqued my interest in helping young people. From Cass Tech, of course, as you mentioned, I went on to Wayne State and earned my undergrad and first graduate degree there, and then, of course, went on to Michigan State to earn my doctorate. Since that time, I went back to pick up an educational specialist, and also I am now nationally certified as a superintendent.
Just spoken like a true technician. Absolutely. Now, in lieu of recent national events, diversity and inclusion has been a hot button topic, and it's come to the forefront in a national way. How do you promote diversity and inclusion in the Southfield Public Schools District?
I am so glad you again lifted that into the conversation. I'm watching a number of institutions hire a diversity person, and that is something we are not going to do in Southfield Public Schools, because diversity belongs to all of us. Inclusion and equity belong to all of us within the organization. So that is part of the fabric of the Southfield Public Schools. We do not look to a single person to make sure or to ensure that everyone has equitable opportunities or that we embrace diversity. One of our elementary schools, Vandenberg, we have over 30 languages spoken in just that elementary school alone. Not many people know that unless you know Vandenberg. So we definitely embrace it. We celebrate the differences that we have, And relative to the unrest in our country, we let our students have voice. We want them to know that their voice matters, and it's very important. On next Thursday, we are hosting our Power Hour, which is something we do on a monthly basis, but this month we're having more than one. And this next week's Power Hour is focused on the power in our voice. We will have our students participate in the Power Hour, and they will have an opportunity to ask some of our elected officials questions, and they will have an opportunity to engage with our very own police chief, our fire chief, and as I stated, some of our elected officials as well, because we want them to know that their voice is important. And part of the district's vision is to have that intra-community dialogue around issues that are important to our community at a local level, as well as on a state level and a national level.
Yes. Now let's talk a little bit about work-life balance. In addition to being the superintendent, you're also a mother and a wife.
I am indeed, and a grandmother.
Oh my goodness.
And a grandmother.
I didn't even know.
Yes, I have a blended family, and I'm very blessed. There are 6 children, 5 grandchildren, and I failed at the question of work-life balance because truly I love what I do, and I really embrace it in every way possible. So my family comes to visit me at the school or in the school district because I spend the majority of my time here. When I do get an opportunity to spend time with my family, we, prior to COVID, loved to travel together and or do things that involve the water.
And one thing I've always known about you is that mentorship is very important. You were mentored, and that has contributed to many of your professional achievements, and you have mentored others as well. What advice would you have for young women of color who are contemplating careers in education?
My advice for young women of color contemplating careers in any field would be to, one, follow your passion, follow your dream. Whatever you would do if you were independently wealthy, follow that path, because that is where you will find the enjoyment in what you do. And then try to associate or network with individuals that have been successful in that field. They will help guide you. They will help you avoid many of the pitfalls. They will help connect you to opportunities that you did not know existed. And then stay in touch. Once you've had that opportunity, do not allow that relationship to disappear or to dissolve. Stay connected. You heard me mention the relationship that I had with my 9th grade English teacher, and unfortunately 9th grade was a very long time ago. But I do still talk with that individual. I still talk to those that mentored me throughout the beginning of my career, as well as at the university level. The Dr. Greens, the Dr. Mears, the Dr. Gunnings Moten at Michigan State University. I still speak with all of them because we can all learn from each other. And those that walked in our shoes, be it a short time ago or a long time ago, they still have a lot to offer you. So my greatest advice would be to follow your passion, and it will never be work. Don't follow or chase a dream relative to money. You will find or make money in following your passion. It does exist.
Let's jump back into the professional aspect of what you do and talk about the importance of collaborative partnerships. You are known for collaboration, and just talk about how important that has been, especially as it relates to the city of Southfield.
Absolutely. I firmly believe that in order for anyone to be successful, you must have collective responsibility with capital investment in our young people and in breaking social efficiency. Having said that, we have reached out to a number of individuals, and now it is very rewarding when companies are reaching out to us. Recently, we've partnered with CNS, Easter Seals, and Ascension Providence to provide healthcare services for all of our students in our district, one of the few districts that have that available. We are breaking ground for a full-service health clinic. It will be housed at Southfield High School for the Arts and Technology. However, it will service all young people within the city of Southfield, not only those that are students within our district. We believe in reaching out to the community. Earlier today, I was at the 13th week of our food distribution, whereby we give away at a minimum 1,200 cases of fresh produce to our families or to our community, and 1,200 cases of dairy to our community. Unfortunately, that program will be coming to an end next Friday. However, In preparation for the fall, we have applied for a new grant, and when, not if it's approved, we do intend to restart in September, where we will provide protein, produce, and dairy to the families in our community. So those are just a few of the things. We believe in full wraparound support. So with the mental health, social emotional supports, we've also partnered with Henry Ford Optimized here in Southfield, where we provide 12 families or 12 students with eye examinations and glasses if needed at no cost to the families. Why I lift that one into the conversation is extremely important. Many of the programs that provide for families are income-based, and not everyone qualifies based on what the guidelines are. This particular program, very unique in nature, is based on the recommendation of the school district. So if we see a child that would benefit from a vision screening and or glasses to help them perform academically, all we do is write the referral to Henry Ford. Of course, we collaborate with the parent to ensure that we have their permission. The parent takes them over, and there is no income requirement. It is based on the recommendation of the school district alone. So again, very fortunate to have these partnerships as we work to provide the necessary supports for our students and our families.
Now, your 25 years in education has encompassed being at the rank and file, professional leadership, and then organizational leadership and professional development. Talk a little bit about your philosophy and your mantra when it comes to leadership and making and empowering those on your team to do what they do.
Well, I truly believe that everyone on the team is a leader. They're just leading at different levels. I am still a teacher at heart. I still maintain my teaching certificate, although I've been out of the classroom for numerous years. Now I educate adults, I educate community, I educate parents in organizational structure and in systems. But everyone in our organization has an opportunity to be a leader, starting with our students. And by embracing that, we afford them opportunities to lead. I don't always have to be in the forefront. I don't have to be in front of the camera. I recognize that I am the brand for the school district. However, when possible, I always promote my children first, my team second, and then I am the last person to go in front of the camera, because I truly am standing on the shoulders of giants. We've had some phenomenal superintendents come before me, and it is my job to carry the district into the next generation of leaders.
I'm so glad you mentioned branding, because that's part of what happens in a global village. We're all connected by technology, and so you're competing globally. Talk a little bit about the branding of the Southfield Public School District and what the efforts are in achieving that. What is the brand?
Absolutely. Our brand is that of the community school. We want to be the center of the entire community, where we come together to provide high scholastic achievement. We are providing that intra-community dialogue, and that we're working collectively to problem solve the issues, again, that we have on the local level, the county level, the state level, and on the global level. We want our students to be able to compete nationally and globally. Prior to the pandemic, we were moving to that of career academies, where students, by the time they did the exploratory phase at the elementary, well, we start with exposure at the very early grade levels, then move to exploration, and then preparation at the secondary level. Then our students will identify which track's probably not the best word, but which educational pathway they choose to follow in terms of where their career goal is. We are partnered with a number of universities for our students to have dual enrollment, early college experience, and some of our students leave our campus with up to 60 credit hours to apply to their undergraduate degrees. So our big dream for this year was to start our fire academy and first responders, a perfect timing for that in our community. However, the COVID did postpone that goal, and we will pick that up or resume those efforts next year. But we are looking to have a number of career academies, including finance, engineering, hospitality, culinary arts, and the list goes on and on. So we're very fortunate that we are able to provide those educational pathways for our children.
talk about how much of an asset the city of Southfield is, not only from a municipal standpoint, but there is an educational row here in the city. You've got that anchored by Lawrence Technological University, and then you've got OCC and some other universities that have satellite offices here. How is that a valuable asset to what Southfield Public Schools is trying to do?
Oh, it is indeed, and I must thank Dr. Modgo and of course Chancellor Provenzano. We speak on a regular basis and what opportunities we make available to our students. This past year before COVID, we had a professor actually come from Lawrence Tech and teach our high-level math courses there on campus at the University High School Academy. We also have numerous students go to OCC for the dual enrollment opportunities. Again, I mentioned that we have some students leave our campus with college credit hours that they can apply to their undergraduate degrees. And most importantly for families, it's a financial savings because the school district actually covers those expenses and the students are able to earn college credits prior to earning their high school diploma. Our students are also afforded opportunities for scholarships, hands-on experiences, shadowing of the different professors in their respective departments. So it creates that exposure and it allows them to see the world outside of the Southfield Public Schools.
Now, for students and parents that are viewing this interview, what is one major takeaway that you want them to glean from this particular interview?
That we always have their students and their families' best interests at heart, that all decisions we make are based on data. This most recent decision to recommend going remote, we look at the hard science and we look at the numbers, and that's how we make our decisions. We always triangulate data before making a recommendation to our Board of Education, who have been extremely supportive throughout this process. But for the families, it's really just that we have their best interests at heart. We want to make sure that all of their children that they send us are taken care of, both from a health and wellness perspective as well as an academic perspective, and that we share the same goal of having high academic scholars leaving our campus at the end of their 13-year journey.
So if we were to go 2 or 3 years into the future, where do you see Southfield Public Schools?
I see Southfield Public Schools having to reopen schools because our enrollment will be increasing such that everyone wants to join what we're doing here with Southfield Excellence. And I see full engagement with our families. I also see us opening some additional career academies for families that want to come back and retrain. One thing that COVID has exposed is that of inequities with adult training and certificate programs. So I would like to have a conversation with some individuals about possibly having an adult center located in Southfield as well for evening training. We really want to embrace the total community. The multicultural aspect of Southfield is amazing. We have numerous ethnicities living within our community, and we really want them all to know that this is their home.
Now, for parents that stay in the Southfield area, as we know, things have opened up where you can send your child to various school districts. What would you say to them to get them to send their child to Southfield Public Schools? What distinguishes Southfield from other districts?
The true wraparound supports that we provide, we embrace all children as our own, and we encourage them to come in and see all of the programs that we have to offer our children, and more importantly, to see the engagement between the adults and the children in our district. It's very heartwarming when I walk into a kindergarten class and the children leap out of their seats and want to run over and embrace me. I don't remember knowing my superintendent when I was in school until the latter years. So for our children to know me and to know everyone on my team because we are actively engaged in their learning and in what they do relative to extracurricular activities, that is important to us. Also, the fact that this past year we graduated in the 90th percentile, and we also have over $35 million in academic scholarships. Our athletic teams are expansive, and we are looking to continue growing those as well. We provide a well-rounded experience. Unlike some districts, again, nothing against those districts, we provide that as part of our comprehensive platform. Many districts charge for pay to play. I can't even say it because it's something we don't do. We believe that if a child is gifted athletically, we provide that as an option. We have a phenomenal fine and performing arts department where our students are writing their own music, creating their own songs, they're recording them, and they're actually selling their CDs. We had a 6th grade class last year who started the project at the beginning of the school year and sold their CDs at the winter concert, and actually were able to pocket the money that they made throughout that project. I don't remember making money while I was attending school. And throughout that process, they learned collaboration, they learned writing, they had to write a business plan, they learned economics and math, they had to balance their budget, they had to set aside taxes, they had to go through the entire experience from A to Z. But the life lessons that they learned in that project will be lasting. And I just don't recall having that opportunity in the 6th grade.
Excellent, excellent. Now, for those that want to keep track of Southfield Public Schools district activity online, where can they go online to do that?
We have a website, southfieldk12.org. We have a hyperlink on that website, or I may be pronouncing it wrong and my PR person will correct me as soon as I leave. But we do have a separate area for that of the return to learn plans. We had a full section for the COVID, and we still have those links on our website. We also have a YouTube channel. We have Facebook, we have Instagram, we have Twitter. So we are accessible by all social media mediums as well.
Now, is there anything that we missed that you want our viewers to know either about yourself or the Southfield Public School District?
I want to thank our community. Thank our community for their unwavering support and commitment to our youth. Whenever I've reached out to any one department, any family, they have always been very welcoming, very receptive. And our community as a whole, we've really come together. We were a cohesive community in the past, but during this pandemic, it has really afforded us an opportunity to come together and embrace what we need to do collectively to move our entire community forward. So I thank all of the families that have trusted us with their children, and I look forward to continuing to provide them with high quality instruction and wraparound supports in the future.
Excellent. Well, Dr. Green, it's always a pleasure. Thank you so much for coming to our studios and having this conversation with us, and we look forward to all the amazing happenings and good news in the school year to come.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Now, you can view this episode of One-on-One by visiting our Facebook page, Southfield Multimedia Services, or our YouTube page of the same name. For One-on-One, my name is Chris Campbell. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.